So quite a lot of utility off the board for both sides by taking Ying out of it. But again, no players really sort of edging towards Ying as a main, I don't think. So again, I think everybody's going to largely have their own games to play as they normally would do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got Sets on support. He's listed Ying as his, as his main attacking operator. With how recently Ying's been introduced, I'm pretty confident that she can, be replaced by somebody else. So I don't think that's going to be a major disruption.
All right, looks like the game is ready. So, Ace Striker, take it away on Coastline.
Thank you very much, Netflix. Appreciate that. So we're going to be moving in right now, and we've got Ouroboros starting out on attack on the blue team, and we've got Dizlown down there on the orange team.
So we've actually got a hooker hold for the first. Now, you might have expected to see Pentes, but I think as the operator bans come in like that, it does change the potential sites. And taking Ying off the board does make hooker, for me at least, a lot more viable, because you don't have the issue of that single door plant with Smokes and Yings coming in and potentially a shield like Monty.
Yeah, without a doubt. Interesting to see this as a first hold. Obviously, a well-practiced hold from Dizlown, and they've got some sort of idea of how they're going to hold this. Something that we didn't really touch on in the operator ban stage, and it's only really occurred to me now that I've seen Mirror selected, is we didn't see any Mirror ban. Mirror was banned quite frequently throughout the qualifiers, just due to obviously the sheer power of being able to change the viability of a bomb site from, not viable to actually very viable.
Yeah, she has been very popular on the ban, to be fair. That's a good point, and it was something that I saw was Mirror banned, so she makes Kitchen a lot more viable, potentially hooker as well. So going to be interesting to see how the Mirror plays out.
Okay, so we're going to be moving through now. Like I said, Ouroboros on attack, and they're going to be bringing, not a lot of disruption. They're obviously going to be bringing the Lion, as expected, seeing as he is in play. We've also got a Hibana, Twitch, Ashe, and a Book. So we may be looking at a little bit of vertical play, possibly throwing them off a little bit with this pick. And maybe the removal of Ying making hooker and billiards a little bit more viable.
Yeah, absolutely. So just droning out at the minute here. Ross just looking to push into Penthouse and sort of Hall of Fame at the minute, seeing if they've got anybody on the roam there. And as you can see, we've got 3 on site, so quite a hold on site there from the French team Dizlown. So it's just going to be a little bit of cat and mouse at the minute as they look for them roamers potentially downstairs, I think, but not sure how much they're pushing after those.
Yeah, I mean, obviously these teams have played each other before, so they're no stranger to coming up against each other. But I think a lot of droning going on. We're sort of a minute and 15, a minute and 20 through into the round now, and each team taking this quite slowly, not really wanting to lose that man advantage so early on.
No, and we're 5-5 on the board. We've got a minute and a half off the clock. Now, there's been the castles opened up, so Ouroboros making good progress towards the bomb site here. But as we say, we've still got 3 on site. We've got Jaeger looking to move in Aquarium. He's holding a tight angle on that door. And Ashe of Corey, gets taken down by Blaz. That's a good move early on by Blaz. Maybe a bit of feedback from Jaeger there. He could probably hear Ashe through the doorway.
Yeah, possibly. I think that Ashe was possibly a little bit distracted by Jaeger there, and didn't actually realise that there was someone in the room pushing as well. But Legionnaire on a little bit of a shallow roam, and he's going to come up against Pierre now. And is this going to be a first kill for? No. Crunch manages to get the kill onto Hibana, which was something that I really wasn't expecting. I was thinking that Dizlown were going to get their first. I was thinking that Ouroboros were going to get their first blood there.
Well, they have done now. They've taken Blaz off the board, but not before he gets a couple of kills himself. So Blaz's job is done as Castle, really. He's slowed them down. He's picked up a couple of frags, and now we're left with Lion and Twitch to try and close this out. Twitch getting aggressive, but Muti bringing him down. Muti looking to finish it out, but Sets manages to get the trade onto Heisenberg and just gets there and gets it sorted.
Yeah, convincing round there from Dizlown. Without a doubt, it looked like they were turtling a little bit to start off with, but obviously, they had the players in the right places, and Ouroboros sort of just fell onto it. Not really. I don't think they opened much up. I don't think that, apart from the castles, obviously. But I don't really think. I mean, it's a difficult one anyway because there's not really that much to open, really. It's a lot of windows and it's a lot of doorways. It's hooker and billiards, so bit of a tricky one there. There's not really a lot of angles in.
No, it is a very difficult site to approach sometimes. So, as an attacking team, yeah, it can be difficult. Now, we're seeing the defense move on to Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar this time. Don't forget, we are playing the new rules whereby there will be 5 continuous attacks for Ouroboros, and then the sides will switch, moving Dizlown on to attack. So, this is Dizlown's second defense now. Obviously, I think the sort of the strategy with the sort of 5 attack, 5 defend rounds tends to be now try and get as many as you can in whichever phase you start on. So if you start on an attack phase, try and get as many of those attack wins done on the board, so that coming into that second phase of 5, you've maybe only got 1 or 2 wins to pick up. So Dizlown's sure to want to carry this on and try and get maybe another 2 or 3 whilst they're on the defense.
Yeah, it really changes a lot. It makes it so much more difficult to, repeat the same hold or try something that was very similar to last time, because after a couple of rounds, the attackers or the defenders just get really wise to it, and it makes, I think you have to be a lot more creative, and I think you have to have a lot more sort of tricks up your sleeve to be able to pull it off in the way that it's now now running, that it's 5 rounds on, 5 rounds off. So I think it makes it a lot tougher really on the defending team, particular. Because if they really struggle to get a win, I mean, obviously Dizlown haven't, but in some cases, if you really, set off on the bad foot and you struggle to get anything going, sometimes a change onto, attack or a change onto defense and a different operator selection kind of freshens you up a little bit to go back into, go back onto the other side and maybe do a little bit better. But like we said, we're going to see a Sunrise Bar hold, Sunrise and Blue Bar now, hold now, sorry, for Dizlown. And again, very slow start to the round, although we have got Ash upstairs and she's taken over the large amount of theatre. Mad Mouse there just missing some shots, but we got a nade kill off the bat, so we've got Joey Arvis getting a kill onto Alpha Man. So that's going to be the Bandit off the board. Bandit's probably done his job at this stage, but obviously it's still not good to lose an operator only a minute in.
No, Bandit turns into more of a roaming operator later on if you're not trying specifically, which I don't think he was at that point. So yeah, potentially a roamer off the board there, but still a good numbers advantage for Ouroboros. Now time to start working in. Corey's Ash looking to move into Aquarium again, and no Jaeger to challenge him this time or Blaz to come through. So, but Muti there manages to get him. That's very, very good from the Jaeger. So I was wrong. Jaeger's managed to flank him. I didn't think he was in Aquarium, but he's coming from behind and he's taken the Ash out. So maybe some good comms there just to let him know. Obviously a bit of feedback going through to Joe on the book. He's trying to get the wall bang through the barricade there, doesn't quite manage it.
No, so we've got an equal man count now with a minute on the clock, and it looks like Twitch is going to come to blows with Muti downstairs in lobby. Yep,
and Dizlown again doing a very good job. Oh, as I say, that Mad Mouse manages to take Muti out, but again, there's a lot here. We're down at 50 seconds. They've still got 3 on the board, have Dizlown, so still plenty of options for them. They're not at a massive disadvantage. Crunch managing to move in, take Mad Mouse off the board, get rid of that Twitch. So that was obviously feedback as to where that kill had come from. So that leaves us 3v3. The diffuser's just been picked up, and they really have to start thinking about a plant now.
Yeah, without a doubt, we want to see some vertical pressure maybe from Buck. Maybe pushing a few roamers out of position and then potentially sending the diffuser downstairs to maybe Lion or Hibana to get a plant off, but looks like they may have to go for kills at this stage because they don't seem to be in much of a position to get a plant off.
Yeah, I mean, 13 seconds, that diffuser's got to start going down, but
Attackers drop the diffuser.
3-on-2 moving into the side. Buck is down, so that's Joe, so that's essentially 2v2. Sets comes in with a double kill on the C4, but Peter moves in, and the attackers win the round with a double kill from Peter. Very, very decisive and explosive play from Peter at the end there.
Yeah, Peter playing a real quiet job up until that point. I think he maybe managed to get something open with his Hibana early doors, but sort of staying alive for that late, sort of pick up the pieces kind of role. After all the gunfights are said and done and everyone's run out of ammo, kind of can go in and, pick off a couple of late kills. All evens at the moment. We've got 1-1. This is shaping up to be a really interesting game.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of it was interesting. Successful defense from Dizlown came from turtle defense of having, it wasn't completely, they didn't have 4 or 5 on site, but they had 3 on site. That's where a lot of the kills came from. The pressure was put onto site early on instead of clearing those roamers out, but site handled it very well. So interesting to see if they maybe go for that approach again now that they're playing hooker again.
Yeah, able to go back upstairs to the bomb site that they just won. obviously, like we've already said, the new rules mean that you play defenses back to back. So they've obviously lost downstairs, and now they can go back up to where they are obviously a little bit more comfortable. Looks like Sets is going to set up very similar last time with the mirrors. Mirror looking down the hallway and the mirror looking into billiards. We've got the castle again. I think, to be honest, I think we've probably got exactly the same lineup as we did the first time, from both the attacking team and the defending team.
Yeah, I think you might be right there.
Attackers recovered the
So looking at this, I think it's, as you say, pretty much the same set on the hooker defense this time, and we've got Joe moving in, taking out the cam. You can see that castle double window there, so we've got the probably same castles in place again. Going to be interesting to see Ash moving in downstairs this time. Now I know Ash approached from the corridor into aquarium last time, so definitely interesting to see if that just changes things a little bit, if Ash is going to move in and try and clear some of those roamers. We can see that we've got Crunch downstairs at least, we've got Alfama playing the stairs, so definitely some work to be done there for Ouroboros before they start moving on.
If Dizlown keep on this hold and they keep bringing the castle and stuff, I'd love to see like a Thatcher Fuse combination. We just got our first kill there from Crunch, kill onto Joe, so that's going to be Book off the boards. That's going to be the vertical play out the window pretty much straight away. Nice early in the terms of these guys' games. We've got another kill there from Heisenberg onto Crunch. So Crunch getting traded out pretty much straight away. But he's done his job. He's got a kill. Unfortunately, it was the Legion, so he's probably only managed to get a couple of goo mines down.
Yeah, that's leaving us 4v4 now. We've got still, I mean, they're holding outside of the objective, but when you're that close to objective, realistically, you're still defending it directly. So we've got Mirror and Jaeger there looking to hold objective from the corner. Corey's looking to apply some vertical pressure from below. Obviously, the Ash Charge has been able to open up the floor, but also they've had the Buck in there as well, who's now been taken off the board. But it's just a little bit of cat and mouse now, waiting. Dizlown are pretty much waiting, I think, for Ouroboros to push onto site.
Yeah, despite the early kills, we've seen a very steady round up to now. Coming into the last minute now, and it looks like the majority of Dizlown are now going to be playing on site, and Ouroboros, have taken control over VIP, and they're looking to get an angle in. But coming into the last few seconds now, sort of last 50 seconds, they're going to want to start trying to push and maybe decide where they're going to make that push from. We've got Mirror down in the objective. I'm not sure if that was a reset or if maybe she just got tagged, but she'll probably get revived before anything comes to blows. We got a kill from Blaz onto Corey, so that is going to be the Ash down. That's going to be a kill from Castle onto Ash. So this round again looking good for Dizlown, as the previous hold of Hooker and Billiards did.
Yeah, so we're on a 3v4 now in favour of Dizlown, so definitely well at the right again. I think Ouroboros maybe just need to try and change things up on the fly. Heisenberg looking to get the shots through from Lyondor, but then he gets traded out by Muti, so that was a very nice kill in behind the bar, but Peter gets taken down, Mad Mouse gets taken down, Muti and Alpha close out the round, and that's another good defensive hooker from Dizlown.
Yeah, so the defenders the attackers just seem to all sort of fall in through one door at that point. They all sort of fell through aquarium, and again, I think it speaks to how little there is to open on that objective. I'm not really too sure what they could do to alter that any, but a really good convincing hold from Dizlown, and obviously something that they've practiced. Now they're going to opt to go down to Blue and Sunrise again. Just a quick look at the scoreboard there for you. So we're seeing pretty equal across the board for Dizlown. Muti coming up top at the moment with 4 kills, and pretty much the same story over on Ouroboros. Corey there maybe struggling to get a kill, but I'm sure we will see one soon. So moving back down into Sunrise and Blue Bar, this is a hold that they previously lost. So let's see if they do anything differently and try and maybe correct any mistakes that they felt like they made last time.
Yeah, definitely seems like a favoured site for them of the two. They've gone straight from Hooker down to Blue Bar, back to Hooker down to Blue Bar, so leaving Penthouse alone largely. I might have been interested to see them go to Penthouse with a view to potentially just switching it up from the site that they lost. Maybe they felt like they were close to winning it on the last one. They're really going to want to pick up at least one of these last 2 rounds, so they go into the second phase with an advantage and 3-2 up. But I don't know if maybe it would have been worthwhile just to have a little look at Penthouse and see if they got any joy up there and just mixed it up a bit.
Yeah, without a doubt. So we're going to be moving into the round right now. Mirror's opened some interesting holes there in Blue Bar. Got a Jackal this time. Don't believe that we've seen a Jackal yet. Mad Mouse picking that up for Ouroboros. Jackal and Lion is a really good combination. It's one that I really enjoy running. You know, especially in ranked and stuff like that. You can really get some good information. You know, you get someone's footprints, then obviously activate the Lion scan, and you're able to pretty much pinpoint exactly where they are. So possibly looking down to shut down some of these roamers. Currently got 2 people on top floor on the roam, Crunch and Alpha Man, playing at each staircase respectively.
Sorry, yeah, that's so we've got Legion and Bandit upstairs on the roam, so they're just looking to stop that play. I'm guessing, you know, we've got a book on the board. They'll be expecting that from Joe, so they're going to be concerned about him getting in above them into Billiards and Aquarium and opening that up to get that view down into Sunrise and Blue. But Crunch just having to dip out there, getting challenged heavily by 2, so he decides to bail and to live to fight another day, but he's now looking to just move up east stairs. Corey, I think, is expecting that, so he's looking to challenge as well there. And are they going to come together? That's the question. Corey, as Ash seems to dip out as well. Neither of them really want to lose, right? But, you know, sometimes you've got to go into it if you're going to win. So we've got Muti still upstairs. We've got Joe on the balcony, but Muti just being pushed a little bit by Joe there. He knows, I think he knows that there's one in there. I imagine he's going to have droned him out. So he's just now just holding that angle. Again, he's just trying to waste more time on that roam. That's what the roam game is all about. If you can get a couple of kills, then brilliant. But we're now down to 1 minute 15. There's still roamers upstairs. Joe manages to clear Muti now. Heisenberg gets the kill straight onto Crunch. So that leaves us in a 5v3. And this might really kickstart this attack and get them moving. And they need to start thinking about their approach to site. They've got a couple of men upstairs. They've still got Hibana. So there's the option of hatches. They've got Joe who's going to start opening things up as Buck now vertically. See if they can get a kill onto any of the anchors on site, and he's definitely getting in above there, above Mirror, I think it was. So it's going to be an interesting 30 seconds or so now that they've got the Mirror open to see exactly what they can do and how they can push forward from here. So Heisenberg getting another kill onto Blaz, so that leaves us 5v2, and the attackers are now strong favourites to pick up this round.
Without a doubt, and I think that this is a round that Ouroboros really need. I know they're only 1 down at the moment, but sometimes when you can go 3-1 down, it can be a bit of a drag to kind of bring that back. And if you can kind of keep it on a level playing field, they bring this, you know, if they bring this to 2-2, I think it'll really help them. Peter there gets a kill, and Heisenberg clearing it out, just as I was saying, and Ouroboros are going to win that round, bringing us 2-2.
Very, very good from Ouroboros there, picking up a lot of frags. They moved in, they took care of the roamers better than they have previously, which I think a very big positive for them. It allowed them to then start focusing on that. And again, I use the word loosely. I don't want to call it a turtle defense because there's only sort of 3 on site, but potentially that's quite a heavy hold depending on the site. You might expect 2 with a 3rd roamer. But that said, they've cleared out the roamers very well. That's allowed them to focus on there. They've been able to apply vertical pressure, which even if that's not where the kills are coming from, it still makes it very, very difficult to play on site and to focus on the pushers when you know you've got somebody above you. It's almost like in your mind, you know you've got these areas that become sort of red zones that you can't move into because you're going to get killed vertically, but then you're trying to sort of dance around in a gunfight with somebody who's coming at you on the same level. So it can be very, very difficult. So a good technique from Ouroboros there, sorry.
Yeah, really good to see. And Heisenberg there, just as I saw the scoreboard, picking up some serious kills in that round. He's now on 7. So maybe picking up a little bit of slack for his team, but nonetheless, getting the job done. So we're going to go back upstairs now. And this is a hold that Dizlown have been very comfortable on so far.
Yeah, now Corey there, interestingly, with no frag playing as the Ash, you know, you would be expecting more kills there. I'm not trying to sort of pile on to Corey necessarily. He's 2nd on the board for a reason, so he's obviously a lot of work of assists, but if you're going to be taking that Ash operator, you do need to be trying to pick up a couple of kills as well, and I think that could well swing if he, you know, if we see Corey come in and get a couple of kills as Ash here, in line with how the rest of his team's playing, I think that could be, you know, one of the deciding factors that maybe wins them this round and takes them 3-2 into their defensive phase.
Yeah, without a doubt. Obviously, we've got to understand we're still in the 4th round. You know, maybe he's not had much time today to get on and get his shot warmed up and stuff like that. Obviously, as an Ash player, you're going to rely heavily on your shot for results. You know, you can only open a couple of things and you've done your job, but you really need to be the one that's getting the kills. So he's going to be putting his drone in there into Hooker Lounge. And it looks like he's just trying to move Mirror off a spot there, which he seems to have done effectively. Mirror's now going to open both the mirrors, which is interesting. Not sure if that's something they've done before, and maybe something that's sort of leading to the success on this site a little bit.
Very possibly. I don't recall seeing it, but it is a get in. Once you get forced out of there, take something that you've planned for in your strategy. Your team knows that it can then use those angles to potentially deny plants and also access the site. So we'll see if that plays out, see if we get any kills through from the defenders through those open mirrors possibly.
Yeah, we've got Peter there opening an angle up into from VIP into billiards room.
Recovered the diffuser.
That's quite a nice long line of sight. He's going to be able to see into the back corner there, near to where Mirror's playing, but not quite. Muti there's going to be playing downstairs, and I think Joe is possibly aware of that and maybe looking to do something about it at some point.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got Ash pushing into Aquarium again. Now this Corey's tried a couple of times, so are they potentially expecting this? I don't know. I can only imagine that they will be, because Corey has definitely come from that same angle a couple of times. Crunch getting the early kill onto Joe, but then Corey trading out, taking Crunch, but Muti trading directly back out and getting the kill onto Corey. So that brings us to 4v3 in favour of Dizlown at this point.
A bomb has been located.
So we're going to see a line popped off there, and we've got Muti there holding a pretty tight angle in the corner, but Mad Mouse manages to get the kill on him. That's the advantage of the Lion there. Obviously, he's got to be able to stay still, and he kind of loses the advantage, but Blaz picking up a kill there. So this is going to be Blaz, the PlayStation player, and you can see there he manages to get the drone, and he's just going to be hiding out behind the bar in Aquarium. He's pretty confident that he's getting pushed there, and I think he's maybe getting pushed by a Lion. Or is he getting pushed by Hibana? No, he's getting pushed by Hibana, so Peter manages to pick up the kill onto Blaz, and we've got Mute there caught on the Lion scan. So this moves into a 2v1, and it's looking very favourable at this stage for Ouroboros to pick up this round. Peter has the diffuser in hand, and Mirror has probably got about 15 or 17 health, something like that. But Mirror managed to get the first kill onto Heisenberg, so this is going to bring it into a 1 versus 1. Is the Mirror going to work against? No Sets manages to clutch the round, so that's going to be a win for the defending team, Dizlown. So that's going to take us to 3-2. You can see there the Mirrors working both ways, having opened them, just allows her to play somewhere else and still have a good line of sight.
Yeah, very good play from Dizlown there, just to close that out, bring it to 3-2, so that if puts them at a winning stage after that first the attack now, and it's going to be interesting to see what they bring, because straight away I can see a Capitao on the board there, so that's not something that we've seen yet. We've got a Capitao, Lion and Glaz, so yeah, very different strategies potentially, and we're going to see a different bomb site. We've got a kitchen and service entrance bomb site for Ouroboros on the defense.
I think that Dizlown have come out of that first defensive stage pretty strong. You know, to be able to come out a map, you know, a round up, sorry, in the current meta that we're in, which is, I think everyone would agree, it's, you know, rather attacker favoured. I think that Dizlown have done a fantastic job there to come out with a round ahead. They've made the job a lot easier in this, you know, it's almost like a second half of the game, I guess. But they've made the job a lot easier in this stage of attacking. And it looks like they may have predicted the kitchen hold fairly well, because it seems to be very well set up for it.
Definitely, they've got the right operators there. Potentially, if you're looking for a service door plant, maybe you've got Capitao with his smokes, you've got Glaz to watch from that single door entrance and see if pick up any picks. So yeah, going to be interesting to see, but we do have an upstairs hold to a degree as well. We've got Heisenberg up there as mirror, so they are obviously going to be looking to hold them out of VIP and Penthouse, which can be essential for this. Again, we've already seen some success from vertical play, so if they can get up there and start opening the floor up a little bit, potentially with Zafia and those grenades, so that can really change this site if it gets opened up vertically. So yeah, Ouroboros will definitely want to keep them out of VIP and Penthouse for as long as possible.
Interestingly there, we saw the Glaz going straight up onto the top of the garage and knocking out the window in VIP to try and get some sort of angle on any of the players that are playing inside. We've got Corey playing quite tight in the bathroom. He's very safe where he is, although we have got Capitao currently on the rappel. And it looks like Corey may have heard that, but possibly doesn't want to react to it and give his position away so early. But Mad Mouse is going to pick up a kill onto Crunch. That's going to be Capitao off the board. So this upstairs hold seems to be paying off at the moment for Ouroboros.
Yeah, that's a good pick as well. That's what we were saying there about them upstairs. They're looking and they get the second attacker trying to push upstairs. So those roamers really doing the job. They may choose to fall back to site at some point, or they may even continue to try holding up there. Although with Zofia and Capitao both off the board, it might be time for the attackers to just start focusing on a downstairs push.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously it's very easy to say things when you're not playing, but you know, for me, if I see 3 defenders playing upstairs, you know, there's going to be only 2 on site. Maybe it's time to just push site straight away when you've got the advantage and try and pick people off on rotations coming back down. Obviously, you've got a couple of claymores there in Hibana and Capstau especially. So, you know, with the claymores and the knowledge that you've got 3 people playing upstairs, maybe just push the service door. But it does seem like they're going to persist and try and knock these players out of sort of hallway and VIP, where they seem to be playing pretty well back to back, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. So we've still got 3 on the board for the attackers. They're still working on this push, and it just feels like it's stalled a little bit. They've got 50 seconds left on the clock, so, you know, really time to start thinking about site. We've got Hibana as with that diffuser, so it's just now thinking about, but it's going to be very difficult with this vertical supremacy upstairs from the defenders or Ouroboros, because as soon as they move in through windows, they're being watched, so it's going to be very, very difficult from here.
Yes, we've got Joe playing upstairs. He's going to be watching people coming in single door. Mad Mouse is going to pick up another kill onto Sets, and Muti is going to get one onto Peter, with Heisenberg trading out onto Muti and Alpha Man onto Joe. Mad Mouse picking up the final kill, and defenders are going to win that round. So all happened at once in the last few seconds of that round. But you can see there the vertical play coming in, being able to watch the angles and pick Lion off as he comes through VIP double window. So that's going to lead us into a 3-on-3. So we're all even again. And I think that round just speaks to how, you know, well matched these teams are. They're both, you know, going back and forth, trading serious blows. And now we're going to watch Ouroboros go into Sunrise and Blue Bar. So we can see there that Corey's got his kill. Struggling a little.
He's got himself on the board there.
He's got himself on the board, so that's all that matters. Heisenberg picking up 8 kills, I believe it was there.
Yeah, it might just start pushing him forward a little bit now. Sometimes it can just be a confidence shots or not, and so getting that first one, it just breaks the seal a little bit, and then you can really push on. So hopefully we do see that from Corey.
Yeah, without a doubt. Obviously, they're not too concerned. They're still managing to hold their own. Obviously, everyone has their off games. If everyone, you know, everyone can't get an ace each round, so it's just one of those things. But we're going to see Blue and Sunrise now. And again, they're going to invest quite heavily upstairs, it seems, with both Jaeger and Smoke doing bits up there. Legion as well, doing a little bit of reinforcing upstairs. So again, conscious of this vertical play and choosing to even play a mirror up here. So obviously really going for this vertical aspect, but it doesn't seem that, apart from Ash, that they've, you know, that Dizlown have brought many vertical operators.
No, not at all. Especially when you're on a hold, you'd maybe want to get up there with Buck, as we saw Aurora do. They were very keen on playing Buck. Now we've just got the Ash, so, you know, potentially 2 charges. There's no castle on the other side, so that's potentially 2 charges that they can use to open up some vertical options. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to have to be a sort of a first floor push, really.
Yeah, with the first pick of Blackbeard that we're seeing as well, I believe, from Crunch. Hopefully he's going to get himself locked onto a window and maybe try and pick some people off on the rotate. But Dizlown there wasting no time in getting into the room, getting into the building, sorry. And it looks like Blackbeard's going to pick up his first kill, potentially onto Jaeger, but goes to chase the kill and gets traded by Smoke. Jaeger there, sorry, Bandit. Bandit there is going to get revived, and that's going to be a little bit of a blow really to Dizlown. Obviously he's kind of chased that kill a little bit, but it would have been good to confirm it. But we're going to see a little bit of action at the top of Cool Vibe. So Blaz is going to get a kill and then get traded straight out by Joe. So Joe picking up a couple of good kills this round.
Yeah, that leaves us 4 on 3 in favour of Ouroboros on defence again. So if Ouroboros can pick up the second defensive round, it starts to chain rounds together for them then, and especially coming into defensive phase and winning those first 2 rounds, there's all, you know, the mental aspect of the game of, you know, the attackers start wondering then what they have to do to pick the rounds up. So that could very easily start to run away with them. Joe picking up the kill there, getting the headshot onto Alfama, so that takes another one off the board for Dizlown. Joe picking up another kill. Is that 4K for Joe? Has
Joe's
Joe
on for
got
an
all
ace
of
here.
these? Yeah, he's on for an ace, so he's going to be searching for that Habana. Obviously, the team win comes first, but Joe playing smoke out of his skin there, and he's going to be looking for this 5th kill surely upstairs.
Hibana's going to start pressuring, but it looks like she may be opting to open the mirror. Joe's still playing this really smart. He's not chasing the kill, as any professional player would do. And Corey manages to get the kill onto Muti, so that's going to be another win for the defending team. So Ouroboros really chaining rounds together there, like Ace said, and sometimes that momentum is all you need to, get a little bit of something going. And as soon as you start to feel it as a team, you build up a little bit more hype, and all of a sudden, the game can run away with you, and you can end up taking it. So 2 rounds back to back, definitely a good thing to see.
That's it. The attackers now really need to be getting it, stopping the rot, so to speak, and just trying to slow things down a little bit. Maybe think about what they have been doing that hasn't worked, and then think about how they can change that. So we see in here, interesting, because we've already mentioned it, we've got a book being played. So we'd mentioned the lack of vertical play previously, so maybe that's something that that Dizlown have identified as one of their potential problems, and they're going to be looking to change that.
Without a doubt. This is going to be the first time that we're going to see Penthouse as well.
It is the first time for a Penthouse Theatre hold, so this is going to be interesting to see how they push. Now, the expected push would be that you try to take control of VIP, open the wall, and then you look at the plant behind bed or even on top of bed, depending if defenders put a shield up there sometimes. But it all depends whether that VIP is given up or held sometimes. The wall being opened up into hooker there, so they're obviously planning for maybe a hooker push to clear from hooker, billiards, clear that side out. Once you get into VIP, you know that you've just got the flank watch then, and you know that you're safe largely and you can get to work.
It's very, very random thought here, but has Mirror had 100% pick rate so far?
I don't recall a
rounds?
round without her. I think that might be, that point, and that was obviously something ban phase that potentially you'd have expected to see Mirror taken out maybe. So Crunch just picking up the early kill onto Corey there, so that takes Doc off the board, so that leaves some HP possibly as well that he could have healed people. Crunch getting a second kill onto Joe, so Crunch seeing that 4k from Joe in the last round and looking to come back with one of his own possibly.
Yeah, without a doubt, getting off to an absolute flying start there, only 45 seconds into the round. Mad Mouse there going to be putting down some shots, but chooses to save his life and dip out. Again, interesting to see how hard the defenders are holding this ground floor.
Mad Mouse taking out Crunch there and just ending that spate of early kills that he got, but Alpha gets in and makes the trade onto Mad Mouse, so that leaves us at 4v2. We've got Mirror and Smoke, likely both on site. We've got Smoke there in Theatre, we've got Mirror there in Penthouse, so they're just waiting now to see where this push comes from, but at 4v2 it's going to be very, very difficult with that Theatre wall getting opened to keep them out now.
Yeah, Muti there getting a kill straight onto Peter. So this is going to leave a lot for Heisenberg to do. He is top fragger on his team at the moment, so obviously he has got the potential, as all these players do, to clutch this. However, it looks a little bit unlikely. But really good play from Dizlown here. They're obviously choosing to really do something about the fact they've lost 2 rounds in a row and making sure that they're going to, be giving themselves the best chance to win this one. With Blaz there picking up the kill in the end. So ending the 2-round streak, if you will, from Ouroboros and taking one back for their own. But again, so back and forth, so well matched. A really exciting game to watch, as well as, a good game from like a technical standpoint.
Yeah, it's absolute back and forward. So it's interesting to ask the question. We're getting a little bit close to potential now. We have overtime in the very first map of the very first match of the CCS EU season.
Yeah, it is worth mentioning that overtime is now infinite. So you could essentially be sat here forever. But obviously that's not the case. Obviously someone has to win. But yeah, overtime, I really enjoy the new rule set, and I think that it brings a little bit of something fresh, especially for any of the guys that have been around since, sort of year 1 time. I think I myself came in sort of middle of sort of year 2. So still fairly fresh to the game and stuff like that. Still got plenty to learn. But I think that, you know, this new 5-on-5 off and the way that they play the overtime and stuff just makes for really interesting, entertaining watching. And I think as a spectator, you can certainly learn a lot more, you know, from being able to watch the same team hold the same sites back to back to back.
Yeah, it's that iteration process of, you know, what time on that site if you lose it and back there again, you know, what did we do on there, how can we change it? And that's what Siege to me is all about. As you say, you know, still only a year into the game, still, I think, to be honest, anybody who's played from beta has still got things to learn, because the meta changes so drastically, you know, season to season, that there's always something to be learnt in Siege. And it is just that process of how can we do that better, you know, asking yourself that question after every round, every kill, how can we do that better?
Without a doubt. So Blaz, they're going to be sort of pre-firing the hell out of Penthouse as he goes in there, just making sure no one's holding a pixel, or maybe trying to get a bit of a cheeky headshot there off the rip. And the attackers here making rather quick progress into the building compared to what we've seen. Still plenty of drone work going on.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. They've moved into the building quite quickly. They've got control over the eastern half of the upstairs of the building. So you've got VIP, penthouse, and then move corridor now, and into aquarium. So they've really got the defenders surrounded at this point.
Blaz there getting the first kill onto Joe, so that's going to be the smoke off the board. Joe obviously having a really successful round a couple of rounds ago, so that's going to be a bit of a loss for Ouroboros. But Muti there getting a kill onto Corey, so bringing that into a 3-on-5.
Yep, Dizlown really finding the feet now. Madman trying to through the draw into managed to pick any. It's time to start really thinking about sight and how they can defend that. So they're looking to fall back now. They've got Heisenberg and they've got Peter on the mirror, both in sight now. And I think that Mad Mouse is going to be moving back in that direction soon. Yep, he's just outside.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So Buck's now going to start opening up a little bit of the floor and seeing if he can gain any vertical advantage. Although it seems that the defenders are fairly well set in where they are. They look fairly confident in the positions. Reloading. But really now down to the attackers to sort of, you know, make sure that they've got the right information, open up as much as they can, and, you know, try and get some final drones in place and get a little bit more information to make this final push, and potentially get the plant down, because it is also worth mentioning that I don't think we've seen the bomb actually go down yet.
No, I think you're correct. It's all come down to kills. It's down to the teams being taken out, but Heisenberg just getting a kill onto sets there, so that potentially starts to change things. He gets a second now. Stepping up for his team, brings it back to 3v3. All of a sudden, with 15 seconds left on the clock, it still starts to look a little bit different. But then again, Alfarmer and Blaz, this is brilliant. They just managed to respond. They come out with the 2 kills. The diffuser is now going down. It's a 1v3 situation. What can Peter do here?
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Just as we were saying that we've not seen the diffuser down, we actually see it go down. Looks like he was going to pick up that C4 kill then onto Blaz, but unfortunately didn't manage it, and the attackers winning the round.
Yeah, Blaz just taking an aggressive stance there. As soon as he saw that you can take, he sees the C4 come out, so he knows where the mirror is playing, so he just steps up, run forward, you know, I'll take you on for gun skill and see if I can win the fight. If not, we're still in a 2v1 situation with the diffuser down, so you're still in a position where you're going to expect to win. So very good decision from Blaz there. Interesting to see him on top of the board in terms of frags. You know, we've already commented that this is somebody who's moved over from PlayStation, so, you know, he's got a good mindset. He's obviously transitioned well to PC and doing very, very well.
Yeah, brilliant to see. There's a special place in my heart for all the guys that start on PlayStation and all the PlayStation guys out there. I really do enjoy playing on PlayStation. It's definitely something.
I think that could just be you dreaming of your pro career there.
Yeah, without a doubt.
If it's possible for them, it's possible for you.
Exactly. So we're going to see a kitchen hold here from Ouroboros. And this is going to be for the match. So if Dizlown win this, they will win.
If not, then we move into that infinite overtime that we have already mentioned. So let's see how we get on. We've got a similar, I think the same lineup actually, coming from Dizlown. So we've got Buck, Lion, Zofia, Hibana and Dockerby facing up against that Ouroboros defense. And they're holding upstairs, as you would expect. They're trying to hold upstairs again. You know, you've got a book on the other team. They don't necessarily know that yet, but they might expect it. And the last thing they want is to give up control of Penthouse and VIP and start suffering the vertical attacks. But I'm pretty sure that that's what Dizlown are going to be aiming for.
Yeah, last time Dizlown sort of picked the operators that I thought lent itself to like a heavy service push and a planting service door with obviously the Capitals, the Glaz, the Blackbirds, the smoke play. But this time opting to bring a little bit more disruption in the form of Lion, Dockerby and Zafir. So they've got a heavy disruption base, and maybe that is because they really want to flush the roamers out upstairs and they want to deal with that head on, get them out of the picture, and then are able to, progress onto the site and get the bomb down and get the win. So let's see how this plays out.
Yep, so they're on the drone there. I'm not sure that he actually saw the lead there. He's just seen him there. I was going to say he didn't see Legion the first pack, but then he's come back. So they are aware of Legion in there, but he's going to hold his position. He's not allowed them to drone him out. Joe gets the kill onto Crunch in Bathroom, so that is potentially going to leave Mad Mouse in a situation where he could be pinched by the Dockerby and the Book now in VIP. 4 of the attackers upstairs, so definitely looking to clear it out and start working vertically.
Yeah, the Book off the board is going to be a big blow. They're not going to be able to play vertically as effective as they will be with him. But nice to see how they've opened up Penthouse into VIP there with that, creating that quite long line of sight all the way through. Really, cuts off the angles for getting in. And it looks like Mad Mouse and Muti might come to blows at the double window.
Yep, that's it. They're just going Mad Mouse getting the second kill on onto Alpha Armor there. So this is starting to look difficult for the attackers, but Muti moves in, gets Mad Mouse, and that starts the process of clearing VIP and Penthouse. But you've still got Joe in there as the bandit, so still work to be done. Except shots go into him, but he manages to live to fight another day, and he's still wasting that time down to 45 seconds now.
Yeah, the Doc will be there coming in clutch for some disruption play, but Muti finally getting the kill onto Joe, bringing us into a 3 versus 3. So really is anyone's at this stage. Zafir's probably got about 50% health, so a little bit less on the HP count, but they're now going to progress onto downstairs. They've done the job of clearing out the roamers, and now they're going to want to try and progress onto the site. 25 seconds, we're going to start seeing smokes come out. This is where Smoke, as everyone knows, comes into his element. But Muti managed to pick up a double headshot kill, and Muti managed to pick up a triple kill, a double headshot, and a final onto Peter, all with the Bearing 9.
What a finish from Muti. That was unbelievable. Gets in there, shows that aggression, double headshot, through into service, picks up the final kill as well on a drop shot, all with the Bearing 9, as you said. It's going to be interesting to see those recoil changes potentially come into Bearing 9, see if things like that were still possible. But excellent play from Muti there. Takes the game by the scruff of the neck and takes map 1 for his team.
Muti there kicking Blaz off the top spot in the last round, I believe. But yeah, really nice to see. Always enjoy some good secondary Hibana play. I think that secondary is, probably what, as everyone would agree, probably one of the best in the game. Yeah, really good map. So we're going to be moving into Oregon, I believe it is, for map number 2.
Oregon for map number 2 with a potential decider on Bank. Yeah, I really enjoyed or thriller. It went backwards and forwards. We didn't have any team dominating attack or defense. Very close, plenty of kills across the board for both teams. So yeah, very good. Going to be interesting to see what happens on Oregon.
This may be where we're going to see the Ying play missed a little bit, if you will. Obviously, a very popular plant is to sort of drop the hatch, drop the smokes, drop the candelas, and try and get a plant off downstairs in laundry. But obviously, with Ying off the board, this may be something that we're not going to see. We're going to have to see something else.
Well, the op bans will be redone for each. But yeah, it's whether we see, if they sort of take similar out again, or it's going to be interesting to see what they do looking to come into Oregon. So Oregon, as we say, we would normally expect to see a laundry hole possibly, or a kids dorm. They tend to be the two that are particularly used. Coming into it there, it looks like we're going to see a laundry defense.
Yeah, laundry defense is obviously a popular one. occasionally you see teams go to kids dorm first. Occasionally you see people go to kids dorms first, as that is, you know, sort of equally preferred. But Oregon, a really good map, you know, two really good viable sites. And then obviously you've got Meeting Hall and Rear Stage, which are still viable, but we're going to see a little bit of team damage there from sets onto Alpha Armor.
Right, so we've got the op bands in for this map, and we are looking at Ying and Valk have been taken off the board by Ouroboros. So Ying and Valkyrie taken off. Dizlown have taken Blitz and Vigil off the board. So very similar to the last load of operator bands, except this time we've got Pulse available, who we see coming into the Defenders team straight away with Crunch on Pulse there. Very important potentially on Oregon, but maybe less so on this site than you would expect on kids dorms and main dorms.
Yeah, Valkyrie's I'm not going to say it's a weird pick, 'cause it's obviously been picked for a reason, but I think Valkyrie's a very powerful operator on kids dorms. But I think that Valkyrie's use is for me personally, I love Valk cams that are outside, and I think that they're the ones that are going to give you the most intelligence. You know, the most intelligence where the enemy team is. So a bit of an interesting one there. Obviously, last time we saw it was Pulse that got banned. So Pulse is going to be available to play, and Crunch is playing him right now.
Yeah, he's gone straight in with the Pulse pick. I think we've not seen anything too unusual in terms of setup. The mirror in there has just been dropped by Twitch. So we'll see. He's no doubt going to be going chasing that second mirror, but that's going to allow them potentially to move into Meeting Hall. It could be possible that they're looking to get the hatches in there and just broaden the possibilities for the angles they can attack from. But still got Dizlown in there defending hard. They're in attic. They're on rear stage, so not wanting to give up that side just yet.
No, we're seeing a very similar start to Coastline in that both teams are playing fairly conservatively. We're seeing quite a lot of drone work, and we're not, you know, no team's taking too many risks, obviously. You know, there's a lot riding on this map. You know, Dizlown don't want to go to a third map, and Ouroboros really want to be able to take this to be able to go to a third map. So maybe going to see a little bit more conservative play to start off with until, you know, people feel each other out on the map and get a feel for how people play and where they play. But Crunch there is going to use his Nitro Cell to no avail up in the main lobby area outside Classroom.
Yep, so we're still 5v5. We've got hit point and smoke, and we've got them pushing the hatch now. They're looking to move down for a diffuser plant, but they're going to have to start thinking about something soon. They're down to 55 seconds, and the roamers in Meeting Hall rear stage have really done the job. Joe getting the first kill onto Crunch though, so that brings us to 5v4 for the attackers, and that's Pulse off the board. So that's going to deny them a lot of information potentially as to where the push is coming from.
Yeah, you can see Smoke using some toxic bays there, coming into the sort of 40-second mark. It's not a bad time to start dishing those out and denying a little bit of entry. The diffuser is now going to be on Laundry Stairs in the hands of Peter, but we've got another smoke coming in, and that's going to really cut off, you know, sort of 15 seconds maybe of you know, attackers' time, and they've not got a lot of it to play with. Moving into the last 15 seconds right now, and it looks like the diffuser's been dropped. Blaz gets a kill onto Peter, and Madman gets killed onto Muty.
Very, very difficult from the attackers, and we've just got 3 kills from Dizlown, and then Man Mouse is moving in. Picked up by Sets, it was just too much for him to do. He had to go in and chase the kills because the diffuser just wasn't going to go down at that point. The defenders doing very, very well there, just to waste time in attic, in rear stage, and they just wasted that time, forced them back towards hatch, and then Smoke came out, did his job brilliantly. Peter as Smoke there, just getting those smokes onto the bottom of stairs. Really good throws. Sorry, not Peter, it was Blaz. Getting the smokes there onto the bottom of stairs. Really, really good, and just delayed them so much that they had to drop. Mad Mouse had to drop and just go chasing for the kills to try and finish it off.
Yeah, really good round from Dizlown there. Maybe a couple more deaths than was needed. I don't know. They lost 3 at the end, and I felt like they had a really good handle of it. But obviously, they managed. They managed to get the trades out. They managed to, you know, pick up the frags after someone had been killed. So we're going to see a move up now into kids' dorms.
Yeah, really patient play from them last round. So let's see what they do this round with Kid Storms. So we just see them barricading off the attic entrance from rear stage there. It looks like they're going to try and control the movement from that side of the map. And they will be, they're going to be reinforcing the wall from master bedroom through to small dorms.
10 seconds to insertion.
So interestingly, after all my chatter about a pulse on kids, on kids dorms, we're not actually going to see it. It looks like they're going to opt for a Legion instead. Legion, I'd argue, is equally, if not more, use than a pulse. Obviously, a pulse can tell where people are and maybe get a nitro cell kill, but as a Legion, you do get 8 opportunities with your goo mines to gather more intelligence. You know, and as we know by this stage, Siege is all about the intel that you can gather, and I think that Legion's out of the recent operators to be introduced, one of the most sort of balanced, if not one of the better operators that's been, you know, released in recent times.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where Corey plays. Beard maybe looking to get up onto double window. That's an aggressive run out from Madman, but Crunch already had the C4 more down. That gets the kill, brings us to 5v4, and we've got that Legion off the board early, losing that utility, as you say. Corey now heading for double window, see if he can get any kills with Blackbeard.
Yeah, Crunch is going to be kicking himself that he didn't hear that C4 going down there. That's really bad luck. The Mirror's also been taken out on the top of White Stairs. And I think that is Mirror getting a kill onto Heisenberg. So that sets with a kill onto Heisenberg. So that's going to be downstairs in, it looks like, kitchen area. Mutier going up into offices, small office, maybe trying to get a peek onto the window to anyone outside double window.
Yeah, we've got 4v4, we've got Lion and Legion off the board, and we've got Blackbeard just holding that double window. We've got Sophia down, is going to be picked up now, just dropped off the roof, probably for a reset, I'm guessing. So Mad Mouse looking for the reset, back up onto 50 HP, and the attack will now continue.
Looks like Mooty's now going to get finished off in the top of offices. Blackbeard there just taking a second to find him to make sure, but yeah, managed to take him off. So this is going to be a 4-on-3 in favor of Ouroboros.
Obviously conscious of that office window. It's always dangerous when you're playing double window. It's, you know, probably one of your primary focuses, really. Can't even it off because all it takes is shots through the barricade. It looks directly on. So, but I think they'll be fairly confident now that they're down to 3 defenders that they're not going to see any problems from there.
Yeah, Blaz is going to be coming out with some clutch smoke plays again into the last 30 seconds. Set's picking up another kill onto Joe. So that's going to lead us into a 3 versus 3, all fair.
Very difficult to predict how this is going to go. We've got 2 defenders, but that starts to get smoked out. Corey with the double kill, but then gets traded out by Sets, and we're looking at a 2v1 in favour of the attackers now. And yep, they get in, get the trade, and Peter wins it with the headshot on the Bearing 9 again. We're seeing plenty of Bearing 9 headshots today.
Nice pre-fire there from Peter. Sets, unfortunately, I think he picked up 3 kills that round. You know, just was trying his best, couldn't quite do enough. You can see him there, 5-1, so he's coming out of the gate absolutely flying on the Mirror on Oregon. So we're going to be moving now back down into Laundry Room and Supply, and it looks like we've got a pretty similar story to what we saw on Coastline. So we've got Dizlown winning the first defense, losing the second defense, and now they're going to go back down to Laundry. And, you know, from the way that they played it last time, if they play it similar to this time, I'd like to say that they're going to win the defense again. So we're definitely seeing, you know, a little bit of a pattern here. They've obviously got much preferred sites. They weren't a million miles away from Laundry, from Kids Dorms, and I think that they will certainly give it the best shot next time. So we're going to see a fairly typical setup once again. We've got the Mirror and the Mute's going to be helping each other out in that small little cubby hole.
Yeah, if we remember last time, they actually played quite hard in Attic. Tried to stop the push into meeting, and that delayed and wasted a lot of time. So, you know, potentially something we're going to see them do again.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, choosing to play with hatches open. I can't recall if they played with them open last time or not, but it obviously does allow defenders a really easy way to get straight back down to the objective. And attackers obviously wary of pushing that because you know it often can be watched from downstairs. So Crunch there looking to get a little bit of a spawn peek maybe on through through classroom window, sorry, from the top of laundry stairs. But it seems like they've all spawned in junkyard aside from Corey, who's going to be pushing garage.
Sensor activated.
Pulse put in his scanner to early work there and picking up one of the attackers, so he'll be feeding that information back into his team. And yet we've got a couple of players dedicated to meeting hall there, just wanting to stop that kitchen push. Really, it sort of directs them to the front door potentially. So yeah, interesting to see now what the attackers do with that.
So moving in, we're about a minute into the round now, and again seeing quite a slow push from Ouroboros, very similar to the way that they pushed last time. A lot of drone work, really looking to take over sort of the west side of the map and and lock off any rotations. Like we said last time, Dizlown played very spread out, if you will. They played upstairs, they played in the meeting room, they played in attic. So they're going to look to try and bring a few of those roamers down back to site, but having said that, it looks that at the minute we've got Mute and Jaeger. Mute playing in attic and Jaeger out rear stage.
Yeah, Mute had a lot of success in attic. Oh, yeah, I think they've learnt from that last time. They know that really slowed them down getting to meet.
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
Clears him off there with a really nice shot from the roof there. Muti just still applying pressure there though. He's looking to stop them still. They don't want to give up meeting hall too soon and just lose that time really.
Yeah, without a doubt, but time is not something they've got a lot of. We're moving into the last minute of the match, last minute of this round, apologies. We're going to see Mad Mouse there. He's going to be breaking down some of the barbed wire, couple that with a lion scan. It looks like they're maybe going to try and get a plant down, but we've got Crunch playing really tight, and he manages to pick up a kill onto Mad Mouse just as the attackers get the hatch open and the little sidewall in classroom, giving them a better angle in.
Yeah, they've got to avoid what happened last time, which is where they were down with sort of 20 seconds, because it then just came all about kills. So Capitao getting those smokes out. The plants was going to start going down, but he's actually just baited the smoke now. Was that the last toxic beauty they had to use?
I've not been keeping track of him, but we are into the last 20 seconds. Joe is looking to plant the diffuser. Sets there. I don't think he quite saw him. He's still planting, but he doesn't manage to get the kill until he's planted it. So we're now in a 1 versus 3. We've got Peter versus 3 of the defending team, and it looks like Peter is going to pick up the first kill. Is he able to finish this off? He manages to get a second kill, but he does get traded out. That was a one-on-one at the end, but Muti did manage to clutch, and he is going to have plenty of time to defuse the bomb. So that is going to be Dizlown winning round number 3. So that leads us into a 2 versus 1 lead for Dizlown. Looks like we're maybe going back up to kids' dorms.
As you'd expect on Oregon, really, is just, you're going to see it flip-flop from kids' dorms down to laundry and back again, depending on the operators that get banned. I think, again, we haven't seen mirror banned. I think if you see mirror banned, you don't tend to see laundry being held, so then the other sites start to look a little bit more viable. But when she's available, I think, those are really going to be your main picks. Looking at the scoreboard there, we've got, I think basically we're just lacking a few kills on the Ouroboros side, and that's what's hurting him at the minute, is maybe just losing those gunfights.
Yeah, I mean, they need to shut Sets down. Sets is on an absolute flyer. I think he's on 7 kills. Again, Mirror, 100% pick rate for this map so far. We've seen we've seen it 4 times now, sorry. And it looks like we're going to be seeing, continue to see it. It looks like it's really working, and it's giving Dizlown the advantage that they need at the moment. Again, seeing a Legion played this time by Crunch as opposed to the Pulse. Let's see if he manages to keep himself alive a little bit longer this time to maybe use some of those goo mines and gather a little bit more information. There we go. They're holding downstairs again, as you'd expect, very similar to last time. They're holding downstairs rather heavy. And moving into the round, got some heavy disruption again with the Lions, Fear, and Dockerby combination.
Yeah, I think they had a bit of joy last hurry up. replicate that. Now, there was the aggression with motive from Crunch on the Legion. He got hit with the Claymore, so probably not going to be as eager to do that this time. But they have got 2 roamers downstairs. They've got Sets and I think it was Mooty downstairs. So they're still looking to delay that downstairs push.
Yeah, and I think Dizlown have done a fantastic job so far of just wasting time. And I think the reason they invest quite heavily into, different floors as to what the objective is on is purely to do that, and is to waste time and cause doubt in the attackers' minds. Attackers don't feel as comfortable just pressuring the objective. They feel like they've got to cut off rotations and get rid of roamers first. So 2 minutes in, and we're seeing the first Dockerby call come through. That's going to cause the defenders to just answer the phone a second and maybe lose a little bit of position, but not too much of a disruption.
So Legion getting drawn there, and Dockerby straight on the rappel to get shots on for a bang, but gets Legion as she comes in, so Legion's going to be well aware. Now, that's Mad Mouse getting reset again. We saw that last round, but much earlier on this time. Oh, and Sets gets a beautiful C4 toss with the mirror underneath, killing the Dockerby out of Attic. Very nice, but Mad Mouse comes in, gets the trade essentially, refragging onto Mooty.
Sets there absolutely on fire. He's getting kills with absolutely everything at the moment. He's still going to be playing downstairs. We're in a equal man count, 4 versus 4. We've got about a minute on the clock. We've got Alfarma still playing upstairs in Attic. And it looks like Peter maybe has just opened that a little bit to make it a little bit uncomfortable for him in there. And it looks like he's going to have to sort of play out the round, just watching that angle and trying to make a move when the attackers start to push a little bit further. Moving into the last 40-odd seconds, we're seeing a Lion played. Now, I thought Crunch was just going to look at him forever there, but he manages to get the kill, but not before getting traded out by Peter, and Mad Mouse picks up a kill onto Alfarma, so we're into a 3-on-2. I think that Crunch was maybe as surprised to see Lion there as Lion was to see him there, just sort of crouch walking through. But they've got the wall open now from Master into small dorms. Mad Mouse picking up another kill on Sets. It's going to be all down to the smoke now in this last 18 seconds. Looks like Peter's getting the plant down, but Mad Mouse picks up the kill from Armory Corridor, but they had a bit of a crossfire on him anyway. I think Blackbeard was on the window as well, so a little bit tough there for Blaz. And we're seeing the same thing again. We're seeing Ouroboros win upstairs on Kids, and we're seeing Dizlown win downstairs in Laundry. So obviously Dizlown are going to go straight back down to Laundry.
Yep, obviously. 2-all now, so we see of similar traits to the last game really on Coastline. We've gone to 2-all, so we're going to have one of these teams coming out of the phase 3-2 moving into the second. So last time that saw Dizlown come out and then just do a little bit better in the second phase and take the map. So let's see if we get a repeat of that.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Yeah, without a doubt, we're seeing very similar operator lineup once again. Heavy disruption for Ouroboros. And a Capital player this time. Not sure. I think they did bring Capital first time, but I think Capital got killed quite early on. So always good to see if Capital can get a kill onto the mirror playing downstairs in the little box, or the little the room off electrical supply, I believe it's called. I think I just call it box, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of boxes. Mooty, they're going to be playing in kitchen once again. So Dizlown here are just going to be repeating what they've done in the past because it has worked very well for them. But I think maybe it'd be nice to see Ouroboros push from sort of a bit of a different angle. I know they're limited, but it seems like they've been pushing from Junkyard spawn from the west quite heavily. So it does seem like they've switched it up a little bit there. We've got Corey and Joe, I believe. Yeah, Corey and Joe, they've pushed and they've spawned at Street. So that's maybe going to give the guys in Meeting and the guys in Kitchen a little bit of a harder time and try and create that little bit of a crossfire onto the guys from Junkyard and from Street, and maybe, create a little bit of pressure. Mad Mouse wasting no time. He's already in the building. There's only been 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe the attackers just push a little bit quicker. Obviously, a little bit short of time towards the end of the round to get the plant down. So maybe getting that hatch in main opened up quickly, clear the roamers, and then they can start focusing on site a little bit sooner than they have been doing.
Yeah, without a doubt. So Alfarma picking up some kills in the in the meeting hall. Sorry, picking up some drones in the meeting hall there. Denying that information. Muti playing at the rear stage again, and we've got Crunch still on his pulse scanner. So Crunch is doing a great job on the pulse, and I think he's sort of gathering a lot of information and being able to tell, you know, his team, look, there's a couple of guys there that knows that they need to look out for, you know, X number of people.
Yeah, it's still seeming. I mean, there's a lot of operators, there's a lot of manpower. Something they've seen success with previously, so they're obviously going to go for that. But yeah, not really getting them much this time because the attackers haven't run onto it this time. So, you know, they're obviously trying a slightly different approach. So they've got the hatch open now. So time to start working. They've got 1 minute and 10. The diffuser is down at the bottom of stairs after that kill onto Pida, but the Hibana has already done the job and got that hatch open. So it's now time to get that diffuser picked up, start moving down, and if anything, start baiting those smokes because it's been Blaz on the smoke that has really held them off the plant on this previously.
Yeah, Blaz has done a fantastic job of that late smoke. Joe there picking up a kill on sets. That's going to lead us equal at 4 versus 4. And Capital there poised, ready to start chucking some fire arrows down into Crunch. And not quite managing to get him through. Crunch there opting to open up the mirror, which is interesting, but he seems like he's pretty confident and safe. And it looks like the defenders at this stage are just waiting for the attackers to push. We might have seen all the smokes played, but looks like Joe is getting the bomb down just the other side of the washer. But Corey picks up a kill. Alpha Armor gets up a double kill from Corey and Joe with a C4, so that's 2 versus 3. Lion scan coming out, that's going to be the second to last one.
Excellent play from Crunch there, really. I know he to that defuse plant. So Blaz getting the kill onto Heisenberg. Blaz then picking up the final kill onto Mad Mouse. So another excellent game from Blaz on smoke there. First denying the plant and then getting in, picking up those final 2 kills and just finishing things off for his team to take them 3-2 into their attacking phase.
So again, we've seen Dizlown come out of the their defending phase. You know, pretty well on top. They won all 3 they were successful all 3 times they defended downstairs in Laundry. They did struggle with kids a little bit, giving 2 rounds to Ouroboros. However, now is when that all changes. We're going to see Ouroboros on the defense, and they're going to opt to go down to Laundry Room and Supply. So let's see now if Dizlown are as good at attacking Laundry as they are at defending it.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe they're going to learn some. But as I said, there was a lot of resource. There was a lot of resource put into meeting hall, etc. But not really much of a push there. But it's very interesting to watch that back and see why it was successful, because you can't argue with how well they've just defended Laundry 3 times. You know, really, really well, and stopped the plant going down every time. It just seems like they were maybe falling back into objective at the right time, and then pressuring that diffuse area.
I think the way that they set meeting hall up with the drop down hatches open, and the way that Dizlown had total control over rear stage stairs, we didn't see any push from construction, which isn't unnatural. Obviously, construction isn't, you know, the best place to push from. It's very one-dimensional, but through not pressuring it at all, you were able to give Dizlown full reign of the back of the back of the map, if you will, allowing them a full 3 lines of rotation all the way down straight back into the objective. And I think that's what they did every time. They just had their little comfortable routes from kitchen into meeting or attic into meeting, then down into objective, and that was what enabled them to be able to drop back down to objective and then defend well from the back, instead of trying to defend Laundry from within Laundry. They were kind of defending it from double door, they were defending it from the mirror, and I think that's what led to the success on that, for them at least.
By contrast now, Dizlown on the attack. 2 minutes, the hatch is open already. They're looking at moving very, very quickly. So they've opened the hatch. They're looking down into kitchen. They're looking to clear them out of meeting hall. And yeah, definitely approaching this a lot quicker. Now, Corey just getting up there as the mirror, shooting off the Hibana charges off the main hatch. So that leaves Mad Mouse holding down kitchen from meeting hall. Corey holding down the hatch. Very good so far from Dizlown. Crunch getting the first kill onto Joe. So that takes the bandit off the board and maybe flips what I was saying, Caster's Curse, a little bit. It had all been very good from Dizlown, but they've lost a man now, and it's 5 versus 4 in favour of Dizlown, sorry.
So we're going to be, Ouroboros still going to be holding upstairs. Castle is still in meeting hall. We've got 1 minute and 25 on the clock. Now, in contrast to what I was saying earlier, Dizlown have opted to take full control over tower stairs this time, and they're really cutting off these rotations. So if Ouroboros are going to rotate back to the objective, they're going to have to rip that castle down, or they're going to have to go through kitchen and get back to objective that way. They're not able to use the rotations from the back of the map. And this is what I was saying about how well Dizlown control the back of that map. But saying that Mad Mouse picks up 2 kills, 1 onto Blaz and 1 onto Crunch, that is going to bring us into a 4-on-3.
Great play from the castle there. That's exactly what he sets moves in, having got knowing that he was there, gets the, but that's taken 2 operators off the board, wasted another seconds while pushing through there. So let's see if that is enough from Mad Mouse as the castle or not, now that they start to pressure the hatch. We've still got Smoke, Jaeger, Mirror on the board, and they have to start thinking about this plant.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Moving into the last 30 seconds now, possibly going to see some smoke play from Peter. Looks like Hibana's going to open up the classroom wall to get a slightly better angle, but we are going to see these smokes coming in. Capital is now going to be putting some of his smoke of his own down and maybe looking to get a plant off, but we've got Alfama pushing the back of objective, but Sets picks up a kill onto Corey, Heisenberg picks up a kill onto Alfama, Muti picks up the kill onto Peter, and Muti picking up a double kill, 1 onto Heisenberg and 1 onto Peter, so attackers are going to win the round. So a great round from Dizlown yet again.
Yeah, very good finish from Dizlown there, and it was interesting. Push the back of site as we suggested. They got the Lion in there, kills, but he did put damage in, and it just let them know it was there, and it sort of seemed like it dragged the defenders in that direction. They then had the concern that they were being pushed from construction, and all of a sudden then, you know, Muti gets in there, gets the final 2 kills and finishes things off with the diffuser in a sort of semi-down state.
Yeah, because the way they did that was they took control of backstage, rear stage stairs, or tower stairs, whatever you want to call it, and then totally flipped. And once they took the castle out of meeting, they then pressured the hatch and let Alfama pressure electric room or supply room from the back on his own. So it was like the defenders were getting pinched from 2 directions, but the actual brunt of the force was coming from the hatch, whereas they would probably have expected it from the rear stage. So just goes to show about, you know, sort of taking control of an area and then being able to switch totally, just funneling the defenders into almost your kill zone, into where you want them to be.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. It's just about, you know, those little mind games of, like you say, creating a push from the rear, so they start for front of the attack goes to hatch, and then you push somebody down rear stage anyway, and it just keeps the defenders really guessing as to where you're coming from, rather than being able to focus in and apply manpower to that plant area, as Dizlown did on the defense. So yeah, they have learnt from what they've used themselves, and they've attacked slightly differently.
Looks like that rotation from meeting into kitchen is causing them a little bit of trouble. But Crunch wasting no time. He's in with 25 seconds off the clock. He's already in upstairs above laundry stairs, shooting out the floor, providing that all-important angle downstairs, maybe to clear some barbed wire, or maybe to get a pick on a eager defender looking for a kill at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, very, very confident. Obviously, drawn out that. It raises another question of, you know, would they benefit from upstairs? I suppose that may be something that you see Vigil do, but banned, so that changes that a little bit, and maybe has allowed Crunch to get in there quickly and start opening floors up upstairs without any real fear of roamers up there.
Yeah, I've not seen the Vigil really. I mean, Vigil is the most popular and probably the most efficient roamer that we've got at the moment. Obviously, there's other operators that are able to roam effectively, but you know, Vigil really almost a missing piece of the puzzle, if you will. But Crunch there picking up a kill onto Joe, so that's going to be, I believe, the bandit gone out of Attic, sorry. And we're going to see another Lion coming in.
Yeah, we've still got another player up it. Well, sorry, we don't have another player. There we go. Heisenberg looking to just stop the drop of Crunch there. Manages that. Mad Mouse gets the kill onto Blaz, so that brings us into a 4v3. Favor of Ouroboros, so they're fighting back this time on this objective, and let's see if they can hold it down. We've got Alfama pushing from the rear again, as he did previously, but does he know that Jaeger's watching that angle? I don't think he did, and Jaeger gets the headshot, bringing us to 4v2. Great play from Heisenberg so far. Muti getting the kill onto Mad Mouse. That's 3v2. We've got Hibana and Capito left on the board. So needs to start using that smoke, using that utility, see if they can get a plant down here, because it's going to be very, very difficult without.
Muti manages to pick up a kill onto Heisenberg, so this is going to bring it to a 2-on-2. And that's sometimes where that castle barricade can hurt you a little bit. Defenders are obviously very safe in that lobby. Obviously, they've got the rotation next to it, but it's just not quite the right angle. It's not as good. So that castle can really work for the attackers at this stage in the round. But as we can see, both defenders are on site, and they're now going to get smoked out with the asphyxiation fire arrow, if you will, from Captal. Corey C4 missing its target. The plant will go down.
Yeah, that's the difficulty when that smoke comes in. You know exactly where the plant...
Attackers need to protect it.
Exactly where, in close enough fashion to... Yep, Muti picking up the double kill. Sorry, I'll interrupt myself there. Muti picking up... Gets in and gets the kill to finish things off in this round with the bomb down, with the diffuser down, sorry. Very, very well played from Dizlown, and it looks like they're already planning for it to be over on the chat there, but nope, not quite yet, boys. It's you've got to hit 6.
Yeah, Corey there a little bit eager with the GG. I wouldn't argue with it though. I believe it has been a very good game. You know, both matches together have been very entertaining to watch, especially as we've sort of almost laboured at this point in the new format. But Ouroboros looking to go up to kids' dorms now. And let's have a look at the scoreboard there. We've got Mad Mouse. He's trying his best. He's got 10 kills, 5 deaths, but it just doesn't seem like it's enough at this point.
He's, like you say, he's doing everything he can to
Bombs from being
team up.
defused by attackers.
So, with 4 being the highest kills across the rest of the... It's always going to be very difficult, and that is probably what this map particularly is going to come down to, is just the kills. You've got Sets and Muti on 11 and 8 there, 19 between 2 of them, and that's just taking that utility off the board every time. It's taking those operators, creating the space, and that's what the kills are going to do for you every time.
I think it was the deaths on Sets and Muti that was interesting. It was 3 apiece. So obviously we've played 7 rounds now, so they're dying.
Less than 1 and 2, yeah.
Less than 1 and 2. So
really, really good.
It's a good statistic to have. It obviously your kills are important, and you're not really going to win without any kills. Someone's got to get them, but making sure you don't die is equally as important. And you don't get much when you're dead. You can watch a drone or a camera, but that's about it. You can't really shape the game as much as you could if you were if you've got your gun in your hand. So we're going to see Dizlown there. Crunch again. He's very aggressive, Buck. Straight into garage. He's going to jump in his drone. Obviously quite confident no one's there, but it looks like someone maybe chilling out around classroom corridor.
Don't know if that's just been missed on the drone or not. I think he just moved out. Mad Mouse as the Ella there just moved out before. So it's possible that they don't know that he's there, and Crunch might push from garage and just get hit by the Ella here. So we'll see what happens with that as the droning continues. Very, very good preparation from Dizlown, I've found. They seem to know where everybody is. They seem to be finding everybody on the drone, and like you say, working the way into safe areas quickly and building from there.
They're going for a lot more utility this time, and I think I've not seen Blaz play the Ash just yet. To my knowledge, he may have done, but I don't remember. I do believe they've been going for a bit more disruption, and there's a fear and the Dockerbee and stuff like that. But Crunch going to pick up the first kill onto Heisenberg, so that's going to be the Jaeger off the board.
Yep, that's that aggressive buck play coming out again that we've already seen. Ash and Hibana teaming up really well there. Oh, a nice quick double kill, 2 headshots, Blaz and Crunch, so that brings us to 5v2. Dizlown definitely in a position to finish this off. We are so close to seeing them take this in 2 maps to 0. All they need to do is look at getting Corey and Peter down, and that's it. They pick up the W.
So Corey and Peter obviously not want to go down without a fight. The attackers at this stage just need to take their time. It looks like they've had a bit of unfortunate with both the stun throw and the Hibana placement there. Corey picking up a kill onto Crunch. That's going to bring it 1 in their favour. But Blaz managing to get a kill onto Peter. So this is going to be all down to the mirror at this stage. Corey picking up a kill onto Muti. So that's going to be a C4. Blaz knows where he is, and Blaz manages to get the kill at the top of White Stairs. I think we can both agree it was a good convincing win for Dizlown and Oregon, but what a fantastic match we saw on Coastline before that. Much more back and forth, a lot more of a closer game, but good to see that Dizlown have managed to pick up the winner. It was very convincing. The way that they defended Laundry, I think, really stood him in good stead, and maybe got into the heads of Ouroboros a little bit.
Yeah, Dizlown, very, very good there. I think it was the aggression that we saw more than anything. You know, we commented on it a couple of times. Very, very quick. And that was something that we saw Ouroboros struggle with, was getting in there with enough time to get the diffuser down and be effective. Whereas Dizlown did that very well. They were in and around site within a minute. They had, you know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes left in and around site, picking up the frags.